Super Bowl felt a bit strong. I've seen Mac Brown say that in multiple interviews. You can put him up there with any quarterback in the league. He's one of the best I've ever seen. He's the kind of guy you can win a Super Bowl with. Like, if that doesn't make it move a little bit, I don't know when it's moving, quite frankly.
It's stronger than comparing him to Josh Allen because Josh Allen hasn't even been to a Super Bowl.
Thank you.
And look, Josh Allen has plenty of time to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but would Josh Allen's college coach be like, yeah, you can't win a Super Bowl with him? Like, I think that's sort of the point. Like, he knows you're talking. He's talking about him like he's a good enough player that he could be on a good team.
In this case, I prompted him, but I was referencing something he said unprompted before. And so, I don't know, that's something he's just volunteering up. And maybe he's just selling his guy. You're totally right, Arcan. And am I, like, guaranteeing a Super Bowl? No. But I do think he has the traits and characteristics, potentially, of that level of quarterback. And I would say Josh Allen, by the way, is the kind of quarterback you can win a Super Bowl with. But to your point, he hasn't done that yet.
The difference is, and I want the people who continue in the mentions and on the internet to say Mac Jones 2.0. The difference is you have a quarterback who at least has the raw athletic talent.
Yeah, if they think that, they just haven't watched him, and that's fine.
That you can hopefully coach up. Do you have the right people in place with Ben McAdoo and Alex Van Pelt to coach him up? I'm TC McCartney. I don't know yet. Like, I don't know. We'll see who he is. Can he learn to read these defenses? Is his footwork really a mess, or is that just media hype leading up to the draft? Is that something he can fix in training camp? I don't know yet. But at least the starting point where you're starting at is a guy with a big arm who can move, who's big and athletic and physical.
Yeah, if you compare him to Mac Jones, you're just doing it. You haven't seen Drake Maye, which, again, is fine. He hasn't played here yet. So I don't blame you for not sitting down and watching North Carolina last year. I don't blame you for that. But you haven't seen him. Now, he may not work out the same way Mac Jones didn't work out, but in this case, you're gambling on traits. I agree. And he's nothing like Mac Jones when it comes to size, throwing ability, running ability, any of that. And so to me, that if you think the pick won't work out and that's your analogy to Mac, fine. He might not work out. That's fair. But, again, the traits are completely and totally different.
You know what's scary, though?
What?
The idea that Mac Jones has a better feel for reading a defense and doing those other things than Drake Maye, considering what our last vision of Mac Jones was. You know, like, that was his thing coming out of college. And his rookie year, maybe you could say, like, it was kind of a dumbed-down offense. He didn't have to do a lot, but he was pretty good at taking care of the ball. If that's something that he's much better than Drake Maye at, that's kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't ever really think that was all that right with Mac Jones. I don't ever think it was that right. They would throw off play action when they were up by 2 touchdowns and Mac Jones was successful. When they were behind, could he read a defense even his rookie year? No. And they didn't trust him against Buffalo in the wind, and by year 2 he stunk. I just think that was always overblown, and it was masked at Alabama because they were up by 35 points every game, and they were running away from everybody, and so it looked like Mac could read a defense. When in reality, they had everything they needed possible around him in college, and then he got to the NFL, and they were playing from in front. Mostly none of his doing. And so, look, maybe Drake Maye will never be able to read a defense. I always thought that stuff with Mac was complete oversight. He was supposed to be a great leader and a great captain and a great teammate. I don't think he was any of those things. And so I just think we were sold a bill of goods on the idea of Mac Jones. I never thought that was reality. Now, Mac Brown yesterday told us, not outright that Drake Maye is going to play week 1, but he definitely didn't shoot it down. And again, this is his college coach. He's going to sell his guy. I get all that. But he made the point about Vince Young, which I thought was a good one. And Vince Young was the same caliber prospect, you know, in terms of draft capital. I think they both went 3rd overall. Vince Young's career didn't turn out the way we wanted, but his rookie year, he's out there. He was a Pro Bowler. He was playing. And that was Mac's point. He's like, people didn't think Vince Young was ready his rookie year, and he played. And I give a ton of examples of these, you know, especially guys who Drake Maye gets comped to. Josh Allen was starting by week 2 in Buffalo. Justin Herbert was starting by week 2 with the Chargers. And so there's a lot of guys who people feel aren't ready. They play early, and they're fine. So that narrative is not always correct, is what I would put in your mind about Drake Maye. Then you get Andrew Callahan today in the Boston Herald. The plan, he says, is to let Jacoby Brissett play if Drake Maye needs time. But there are some in the Patriots building that believe Drake Maye could start week 1. And so I look at that and I say, how much of a push and pull is going on within the organization?
I say, name them.
Well, and who are they exactly? Is it like Jonathan Kraft thinks he can play week 1?
Is it anyone with real sway?
Well, if it's Jonathan Kraft that thinks he can play week 1, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like if the pushing...
Like if Martha at the security gate thinks he can play week 1, Sorry, Martha. I'm not giving a lot of thought to that.
Okay, what if it's Jonathan? What if the push and pull is like ownership versus football ops? Then you get into a tricky spot.
Yeah, that's too much.
What if it's the coaching staff versus the front office? So
I'm Team Martha, no matter what.
That's already starting. Like this idea that they have a plan and they're sticking to it. I don't think that's accurate.
I don't think so either. I think that the coaching staff wants him to be able to play. Of course, they want to roll him out there. They know that'll make ownership happy.
Okay.
They know that that'll hype up the fans and everything. I just don't see how people, even inside the building, can sit there right now and say, yeah, we feel really strongly about him playing when they're starting rookie minicamp like this weekend. Like they haven't even seen him. They've seen him on a pro day. They've seen him in college film. They've met with him in the room. Like, they don't know when he's going to be ready, if it's going to be week 1, if it's going to be week 5, or if it's going to be next season.
Right. And so I think they have a good feeling on it, but we'll see. And it's not just the coaching staff, but Arkan, what do you think of that push and pull? Maybe I'm exaggerating what Callahan says, but there's a back and forth. Some people in the league, in the building, rather, think he could be ready week 1.
Yeah, and I think what you have here is basically like the best case scenario, and ownership saying, this is what we'd like to have happen. This is what we'd like to have happen.
Are they allowing for the possibility?
Of course, and I think that they have to. I mean, you'd be crazy not to want your third overall pick quarterback to be your starter and lead you to the playoffs and do all those things.
Not if you have a plan and it's laughable he's playing before Columbus Day, you don't.
Yeah, but if you have that plan, it's because you're not sure that he's going to be ready for it. You want him to be ready. You want him to be prepared and set to go, and I think that if he is, then that's what they're going to do. But I don't think that ownership is going to intervene on the evaluation of how ready or not ready Drake Maye is to start. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that
would be crazy.
They'll leave that to Mayo, and they'll leave that to Van Pelt and the offensive people, and I think once the season starts, if Brissett's out there, if he gets to start to begin, and he's out there and he sucks, then I could see ownership leaning on him then. Okay. I don't think it'll happen in camp.
All right, well, let me play something for you coming up here from Elliot Wolf, the soon-to-be GM, we think, of the Patriots, or whatever his title is. Yeah, we'll see what his title is. We'll see how the search goes for the Patriots. We'll
Has
get to
any
that
team
too.
been turned down for more interviews than the New England Patriots, like in the history of sports?
The Boston Red Sox.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think offensive coordinator had him beat out, and we'll see where this thing goes. But anyway, we'll play some of Elliot Wolf coming up here in a moment. But first, it's 2 for Tuesday on WEEI.
What is it?
It's a 2 for Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday.
Let's roll.
Caller 9 right now, contest line 617-931-0937. You got 2 tickets. See the Red Sox take on the Nationals on Saturday night at Fenway Park. Again, caller 9 right now, contest line 617-931-0937. 2 tickets, Red Sox, Nationals, Saturday night, Fenway Park, all part of a 2 for Tuesday. Here on WEEI, started with the Greg Hill Show earlier today, went through Gresham Fourier, 2 pairs of tickets that we're giving away here today on Jones and Mego. This is the final pair, so if you want to win, call the contest line right now. Meanwhile, can I hear Elliot Wolf on the Adam Schefter podcast on signing Jacoby Brissett, what they told Jacoby Brissett? You'll hear it right here.
Was drafting Drake, was that related in any way to your team signing a veteran like Jacoby Brissett during the offseason? And how do these 2 particular quarterbacks complement one another?
Yeah, so we were very upfront with Jacoby. Obviously, Jacoby's a player that had some history here before. I have a history with Coach Parcells. Coach Parcells has a history with Jacoby as well. So, I've been hearing about Jacoby for years. And he's a good player. We played against him 2 years ago when he was with the Browns. And, we had the opportunity to bring him in. We were very upfront with him about the role. We're likely going to draft a quarterback at some point in the draft. And how do you feel about that? And are you willing to compete with somebody like that? And, Jacoby's a guy that's played a lot of football, and he's a relentless preparer. By all those that have worked with him say that, like, this guy really knows how to prepare. He took that from Brady. And we're excited about, his ability in the room to help whoever the young guy is. And, maybe that's while he's playing.
Maybe.
I love that. We're excited about his ability in the room. Like, I've told you guys this for like a week plus, a couple of weeks. I'm like, every time I hear them talk, that's how they talk about Brissett. How he is in the room, how he's going to bring, what he learned from Brady about bringing along quarterbacks and all that. I keep hearing that. And then he's like, we told him he's going to compete. And, oh, yeah, maybe he'll get to do that while he's playing, too. Maybe. So, like, this idea that they're not going to allow it to be a competition, I think is wrong. I don't think you draft a guy at 3 and say, we're not giving him a shot. Let's see if he's ready. You also have Jacoby Brissett. It's important who the other guy is. I said this the whole offseason about Mac a few years ago. It wasn't Mac competing against Tom Brady. It was Mac competing against Cam Newton. This is Jacoby Brissett. He's won one quarterback battle in his life, Arcan, in the NFL, and it was Brian Hoyer. Mm-hmm. So I think he's going to lose another one. And I think Elliot Wolf basically told you as much.
The weird thing to me is that, like, I didn't think that they were going to necessarily sit Drake Maye the entire season. And now I think that he's going to play at some point during his rookie season, the way that they keep talking up this competition and everything. It really seems to be trending that way, which is, again, to me, crazy because they haven't even started rookie minicamp yet. But I look at the comparison to Mac Jones and I go, there is something to be said that the smart thing might be like, hey, Mac was in a better situation with the receivers he had, the tight ends he had, and most importantly, the offensive line he had. And if Drake Maye, if you're worried about his development and whether he's going to be able to develop in games, which I know you're not, Jones, but if the staff is, then don't make it about a competition. Make it about his development. And that's just where I'm confused. That's where I'm like, is it about, have you figured out something about this guy, that he has some toughness factor, that, yeah, he can go out and survive and also develop on game days, and something that you've seen in him that you believe that he can do that, or you're very open to that? Because it just feels like a lot of disconnect from at least what we were spoon-fed it was going to be like leading up to the draft. So now all of a sudden they have him. It's competition. No, it's not a competition. Yes, it is a competition. Jacoby Brissett always knew it was a competition. I'm like, oh my God, he hasn't even stepped on the turf yet. It's making my head spin.
Yeah, so I wonder now, based on the Callahan column or story at the Herald, I wonder if Wolf is one of those people where it's like, based on what he just said, it's like, yeah, Jacoby Brissett, he's here just to bring the kid along and maybe do that while he's playing.
They're telling that to Brissett before they even know which quarterback they're getting, though, unless you think when they signed Brissett, they basically thought that the draft order was already set and they were definitely getting Maye.
I just think they knew they were getting one of those three. I think even
but
way
I think
back
it would have
when.
been a different equation with Jaden Daniels versus Drake Maye.
Why?
Because Jaden Daniels has a lot more experience than Drake Maye, and he's older.
Yeah, but it's still a veteran bringing along a young quarterback. Like, I don't, to me, I don't think that matters, but maybe it would have. I don't know. I don't think that matters.
Yeah, the Falcons got a veteran bringing along the rookie, too. So
that's that situation.
Everybody's got a veteran for their rookie. I think in terms of what the plan is, if there's a hard and set plan, I don't think there is. I don't think there's a hard set plan. I think it's going to be sort of like what's happening with the Bruins right now, not to cross sports, but with the Bruins and the goalie situation. Like, we have a plan. Yeah, we've been doing this rotation all year. But if someone really takes the reins and is undeniable, then you got to go with what's working. And I think that's what they're going to do. Same thing here with Drake Maye and Jacoby Brissett. I think Drake Maye is probably going to have to do. You think he just has to be like on the level with Brissett, right, to start week one?
I don't even think he has to be as good. I think
he has to be like head and shoulders better than Brissett.
Okay, if he's already in shouting distance in his first professional camp versus a guy who's been an NFL vet for 10 years and you know what he is, you say, all right, maybe week one, he's like a half step behind the other guy, but by week 4, he'll be ahead of him. Just start him now. That's why I say.
But the counterpoint to that is you're starting a guy who's worse than Jacoby Brissett. Is that what you want?
And what's changing? We've had this conversation.
He's not
a lot
worse
before.
than Jacoby Brissett.
What's changing
in this
between
hypothetical,
week 1
we're saying
and
he
week
is.
4?
No, but I'm saying he just might not be as ready for week 1, but you see it and you go, he might be ready by week 2 or 3. So we're going to err on the side of upside and start in week 1. You'll just rush him into it a little bit. I don't think it's rushing anything. If he's within shouting distance of Jacoby Brissett, he should get the job. He doesn't have to win it, and he doesn't have to win it by knockout. He just has to be within shouting distance of Brissett. For me, I'm not saying that's what the Patriots will do, but for me, I go, okay, I can see what this kid is going to do. If 4, 5, 6 months in, he's already almost as good of a player as Jacoby Brissett after 10 years, give the kid the job.
Do you think that they just keep bringing up the competition thing because they know ownership knows it's good for business?
Maybe. It's possible.
Otherwise, I don't understand what they're doing.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Is that good for business, or is having a big hotshot rookie quarterback who, buy his jersey and he's going to be the man? Like, I feel like that's better for business.
Yeah, and just again, they're telling it to
not he can't beat out
Drake
Jacoby
Maye
Brissett.
told us.
Look, if you're trying to sell tickets for the upcoming season, they're going to release the schedule Thursday next week sometime. I think it's Thursday. They're gonna have people look at the schedule and go, oh, okay, when can I figure out when I think Drake Maye is actually going to play?
Yeah.
If you're sitting there this upcoming season saying, no way, he's not ready, we're putting him on ice, it's the Packer way, nobody's looking at those tickets. They don't want to see Jacoby Brissett play.
Why'd they tell Drake Maye? I get why they're telling us. Why'd they tell Drake Maye it's going to be a competition?
Probably just to hype him up.
Okay,
Get him focused.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with business then. Why are they telling it to Drake
Well,
Maye?
it serves two purposes.
What?
What do you mean? I just told you. It's good for
hypes
business.
him, it
and
hypes
it's
him
also,
up to tell him.
yeah.
Okay, what if he wins the competition and then they sit him? Is my point. Then
Then-
they've lied to him. Then you've lied to your big star.
Oh yeah, because they've never done that before.
Okay,
to
but
a
I'm
football
saying, but
player.
is that
liar expert over
Yeah,
here.
well, that's a
Yeah.
good point. So, but is that good business? Why would they
I'm
tell?
not saying this is what they're doing. I'm just saying I think that it
No,
makes
no.
sense because otherwise I don't understand.
I'm answering
Like
you.
you're talking about a potential plan. I don't know what the plan with the kid
Through
is.
the media, that would make sense. I'm saying it makes no sense to tell Drake Maye it's a competition and then have to potentially turn around, have him win the competition and say, ooh, Drake, actually, remember that competition thing? You clearly won it. We're not playing you week 1. That does them no good for business, I don't think. And it does them no good with Drake Maye. Lying to the public makes sense. I totally get what you're saying there. I don't get why they lie to Drake
Well,
Maye.
maybe the conversation is you're really close. We're thinking week 5. Let's see how it goes.
Maybe. I just, again,
Let's keep it. This is all development. Let's keep it going.
if he's passing Jacoby Brissett in week 5 anyway, just start in week 1. I don't get what you're waiting until week 5 for.